Hey, beautiful people. Hola, mi gente. What's up? Que bala, bitch is back. I'm here with another reminder. Hope you want to hear it. So here it goes. And if it doesn't apply, let this shit motherfucking fly. Because I'm not for everyone. Everyone's not for me. Get it? Got it? Good. A lot of you know that I am initiated in certain traditions, right? I'm a Cuban indigenous practitioner. And yes, I love those traditions. But I am an ancestral and rituals practitioner first and foremost. A lot of you want to grow energetically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, etc. Whatever way you want to grow. And I hope some of you can align with this. If you don't align, then just keep scrolling. We are all spiritual and energetic beings having a human experience. It is your human experiences that raises your energy, that raises your level of spirituality, that helps you evolve, that helps you grow. So all the shit that you're looking for means you have to go through more lessons, trials, tribulations, tragedies, traumas, pain, so you can grow. I associate pain as past actions and negativity. That is what I made up. That is what was given to me. That was what was shown to me. Pain is a huge teacher. But so many of you are jumping into traditions thinking you need to get initiated or you need to get mounted or you need to have godchildren. I have so many godchildren that sometimes I don't know what to do with them. I love all my godchildren, but that was my destiny. That's what came out in my ita, which was my life reading when I got initiated. Now, that was part of my path. But one thing I did way before I ever got initiated in any traditions was always honor my ancestors, even the ancestors who did not get along. Because it's very obvious I am white passing. I have a lot of European ancestors, but I also have indigenous, my father's bloodline, and African, my father's bloodline. So they all didn't get along. And so I had to learn how to venerate my ancestors, but also elevate them and teach them to get along. Because sometimes your ancestors don't give a fuck and they don't like each other. And that causes disarray in your life. So the more you start practicing with your prayers and meditations and invoking, elevating, and venerating your ancestors, the more you'll get clarity on which path you should be going. And always follow your intuition no matter what. You do not need to be initiated to connect with your ancestors. We have ancestral practices, ancestral elevations, and ancestral venerations in every culture, from European to Nordic to Celtic to Slavic to African to indigenous to Mexico to Asian. Asia's they have a huge ancestral practice in Asia. Again, the ancestors are our first line of defense. Without them, without invoking them, without venerating them, without communicating with them, without elevating them, you will probably continue to feel like something's missing. Your ancestors have had a human experience. They've now transcended to the cosmos, our home base, where we are from, our stars, right? We have stardust in our carbon-based DNA. Have you ever thought about that? Us having stardust and our carbon-based DNA can literally tell you that we are from the cosmos. They are home. Now they've elevated to these spiritual beings, and some ancestors have not elevated. And again, ancestral elevation and veneration are two different conversations, but the ones who have elevated you are usually the ones reaching out to you through dreams, through visions. You smell their perfume when they're not around. Obviously, they're not around. They're no longer with us. You smell a cigar. You hear a song. You think of a specific memory. That's them saying, hi, I'm here. Again, they're always reaching out, but they cannot get involved in any way, shape, or form unless you ask for help, because we live in a free will zone universe. You must start first working with your ancestors before thinking of joining any traditions, because not every tradition is for you. And for these specific said traditions that I'm talking about, specifically the ATRs, you must ask permission to see if you're even supposed to get initiated. You must have a reading with a specific traditional priest or priestess in those said religions to see if your destiny is even to get initiated. Because a lot of you can join a church, it don't mean you have to be the priest of the church. Same thing with these traditions. You can be a devotee, but doesn't mean you have to be a priest or a priestess. So really sit down and really ask yourself, am I honoring my ancestors? Am I connecting with them in a way that is helping me, allowing me to see what my spiritual trajectory is, or what my financial situations are, or to help me with my health? And a lot of us who get initiated in these traditions is to save our lives. It's to not be a godparent. It's to not come on TikTok and be like, you need to no. Some of us are literally getting initiated to save our own fucking lives. And I've said this time and time again, and I say this all the time when I say these cards or the cards of the day or any videos. I do not push my belief systems onto any of you. Not any of you, any way, shape, or form. My belief system is for me, for my soul, for my destiny, for my fucking life. So I want to clarify that. Again, if you want to work with your ancestors, you want to connect with them a little deeper. I've been doing this work for over 37 years at this point. I started at 14 years old under the guidance and tutelage of my grandmother, who was an espiritista from Cuba. I'm an espiritista. Basically, I'm a medium, right? Not all mediums are the same. We're not one size fit all. And our practice of espiritismo is our mediumship and it's a way of us connecting with our ancestors. Even those traditions do not require technically to you connect with the ancestors, but the ancestors always come first. There is a saying that I've heard my entire life: sin muerto no hay santo. Without the dead, there is no saint, there is no orisha, there is no God, there is no Loa, there is no ABCDEFG, right? We all have ancestors. Every culture, every tradition, whether you're white, black, green, purple, orange, pink, yellow, I don't care what color you are or what color you associate yourself with. We all have ancestors. Learn to connect with your ancestors. Learn how to acknowledge them. Learn how to elevate them. Learn how to venerate them. Learn how to communicate with them. And they will teach you a lot of more things than you could ever desire. And if you're having a hard time with connecting with your ancestors, I have a couple things. In my programs, we do connect with ancestors and we do a lot of ancestral work. If you're interested in one of my programs, Love Thyself, Live and Know Thyself, or the Soulful Mastery Entrepreneur Program, they're on sale now. I'm accepting specific clients. I'm only accepting like 3 or 4 clients. I think 4 is pushing it. But I have extended payment plans for that. I also have a pre-recorded guided meditation to meet an ancestor that you can purchase, and you can do this on your own. I also have mentoring sessions where you and I can talk if you want to set up an altar, if you want to connect with your ancestors. I even have old webinars that the information is still on point on how to connect with your ancestors. That webinar is called Ancestors Among Us. There's also ways to teach you how to build your altars, ways to pray and meditate. Again, these are non-denominational. This is not regarding specific traditions because we all have ancestors. We all celebrate, venerate, and elevate differently. But my reminder is to connect to your roots. If you want to know who you are, you got to connect with where you're from and what your history is about. If you don't know that, or if you feel disconnected, or you are a foster child, or you are adopted, you do not need to know your ancestors' name. You do not need to know who they are for you to connect with your ancestors. Your bloodline is in your veins. You carry the DNA, the tragedies, the trauma, the successes, the joys, the insights, the elevation in your blood, in your body. You carry 7 generations worth of greatness and sorrow. And I truly believe that. But if you're having a hard time with this, I would love to work with you. But as always, please follow your intuition working with any spiritual advisor, even if that means you do not work with me. I hope this helps. I hope this clears up some misconceptions. And I hope you guys get what it is that you need. And again, your ancestors are always there. But again, they cannot get involved in any way, shape, or form unless you ask for help. We do live in a free will zone universe. They will not push their ethics, their morals, their religion, their politics like humans do. Our guides, our ancestors, our ascended masters, our teachers, our loved ones, even our creator will not push themselves on us. We get to choose when they get involved. And that's the beauty of dealing and invoking and working with your guides and guardians. So I hope this helps. Love you. Have a great day.